Alright, so in the last lesson, we looked at one-step equations with addition and subtraction. But in this lesson, we're going to look at one-step equations with multiplication and division. They're a little bit trickier because you can get them in different formats. But we're going to work through all different examples, and we're going to go over the steps one more time. So your goal for today is I can solve one-step equations with multiplication and division. Alright, so remember, if I'm going too fast at any point in the video, you can slow it down by hitting pause or rewind. Okay, so let's look at the steps on how to solve a one-step equation with multiplication and division. They're the exact same as addition and subtraction with one small difference. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to put a box around the variable, and that's going to be the same as last time. The second thing you're going to do is use inverse operations. Now, with addition and subtraction, if you had addition, you use subtraction. And if you had subtraction, you used addition. This time you're going to do the same thing, but with multiplication and division. So if you have multiplication, you're going to use division. If you have division, you're going to use multiplication. But the difference is you're going to look to move away the coefficient this time and not the constant. Now remember, coefficient is something that is attached to the variable, and we're going to see an example of that in just a second. The big thing to remember, though, is the golden rule. The golden rule still applies. Whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do to the other side of the equal sign. If you don't, then you're going to get the answer wrong. But the good news is that just like addition and subtraction, you can check your work to make sure that you have the right answer. So let's go ahead and get started and look at the first example. So here we have 55 equals 5x. Step 1 is to put a box around the variable. Now, step 2 is to find the coefficient. So the coefficient is the number that is attached to the variable. So what number is attached to the variable? 5. Now, is 5 being multiplied or divided to the x? It's being multiplied because they're next door neighbors. So what's the opposite of multiplication? It is division. So I want you to put a division bar and put a division bar on the other side, and we can draw a line down the equal sign if that helps. Oops. Sorry. Okay. So we're going to put a line down the equal sign if that helps. So we did there it goes again. Okay. So we did a division bar, and we're going to divide by the number that's attached to it. So that's 5. I'm having all sorts of technical difficulties here. And you're going to do the same thing to the other side, which is also 5. Now, what is 5 divided by 5? Well, it's 1, so they cancel each other out, and you're just going to bring down your x. What is 55 divided by 5? It is 11. So your answer is x equals 11. And you check it in the same exact way that you checked the other one. So 55 equals 5, and then instead of x, you put parentheses 11. What's 5 times 11? 55. So 55 equals 55, and it all checks out perfectly. All right, let's try another example here. So here we have a over 4 equals 6. Step 1, put a box around the variable. Step 2. What is being done? Is it multiplication or division? So the 4 is the one that's attached to the a, and it's being divided because you see that fraction bar, that division bar. So what's the opposite of division? Well, it's multiplication. So we're going to multiply times 4, and we just put it in parentheses right next door. And then whatever we do to the left, we have to do to the right. So we multiply times 4. Now, over here, now that it's being multiplied, I want you to imagine that this division bar has been extended. So what is 4 divided by 4? It's 1. It cancels out, and you bring down your a. What's 6 times 4? Oh, Lordy. What's 6 times 4? 24. So your answer is a equals 24. And how do you check your answer? you just plug it right back in. So instead of a over 4, you're going to have 24 over 4 equals 6. And 24 over 4 is 6, so 6 equals 6, so you're good to go. Let's try another one. C equals 4 times 19. Put a box around your variable. Now, is anything attached to your variable? It's not. So just go ahead and solve what's on the other side. So you're going to bring down your C, and you can put it in your calculator. I don't have mine, so I'm going to multiply out over here. So you should get C equals 76. And make sure that you check it. So 76 equals, always put in parentheses, 4 times 19. Well, I just did 4 times 19 over here, and I got 76. So 76 equals 76. It checks out perfectly. All right, let's try this one. So go ahead and box your variable. Now, what's attached to it? Well, it's a 5. Is it being multiplied or divided? It's being multiplied. So we're going to do the opposite, which is division. So I'm going to put a division bar on both sides. And if it helps, you can always put that stick down the middle. And I divide by the number that's attached to it. So 5 and 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. So that cancels out, and we just have x. 45 divided by 5 is 9. So your answer is x equals 9. Now I want you to go ahead and check it. So 5, and instead of x, we write 9 equals 45. What's 5 times 9? 45 equals 45. Everything checks out perfect. All right, 1/3 p equals 6. Now don't worry, this is not as hard as you think. Go ahead and put a box around your variable. Okay, now what is what is attached to it? The 1/3. Is it being multiplied or divided? Well, it's next door to each other, so it's being multiplied. So what's the opposite of multiplication? It is division, okay? So 1/3 divided by 1/3, and over here we're also going to do divided by 1/3. Okay, now remember your rules for dividing fractions. So 1/3 divided by 1/3, and we have a little tic-tac-toe here, and we have keep, change, flip. So we have 1/3 times 3 over 1, which would give us 3 over 3, which is 1. So these guys cancel out completely, and you're left with p, and I'll bring down my little stick here. Now, same thing over here. Make this, I'm sorry, I'm not drawing really straight lines. Make this a tic-tac-toe. So keep, change, flip. So 6 times 3 over 1, and that's over 1 also. 6 times 3 is 18. 1 times 1 is 1. So P equals 18. You're going to start to see everything come full circle from the entire year. Now, go back and check your answer. 1 over 3 times 18 equals 6. Well, just put that over 1. 1 times 18 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3. 18 over 3 is 6. 6 equals 6. It checks out. We're good to go. Okay, m divided by 12 equals 3. Put a box around the variable. What's attached to it? Well, it's this 12, and it's being divided. So what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So multiply times 12. And the golden rule, do it to both sides. Multiply times 12. These guys are going to cancel out. M equals 3 times 12 is 36. And always go back and check your answer. So we have 36 divided by 12 equals 3. 36 divided by 12 is 3. 3 equals 3. Everything checks out perfect. Okay, so here we have 72 divided by 8 equals n. Put a box around the variable. Draw your line if you want. What's attached to the n? Absolutely nothing. So just solve the other side. 72 divided by 8, that's 9. Bring down your n. Your answer is n equals 9. Even with the simple problems, go back and check your answer. 72 divided by 8 equals 9. 72 divided by 8, 9 equals 9. The solution works perfectly. Okay, here we have 4b equals 24. Put a box around your variable. What's attached to your b? It's a 4. So and it's being multiplied, so put a division bar. Okay, and you're going to divide by what's attached to the variable, which is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. They're going to cancel each other out. B equals, what's 24 divided by 4? 6. So go back and check. 4 times 6 equals 24. 6 times 4 is 24 equals 24. Everything checks out perfectly. Okay, here we have k over 8 equals 2. So put a box around your variable. Okay, now what's attached to the k? Well, it's an 8, and it's being divided because there's your little division bar there. Okay, so what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So multiply times 8. But whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And this division bar sort of extends a little bit. So now we have 8k over 8. Well, 8 divided by 8 is 1, so that goes away. You bring down your k. 2 times 8 equals 16. K equals 16. And you always want to go back and check. So you're going to do 16 divided by 8 equals 2. 16 divided by 8 is 2. 2 equals 2. Everything checks out. And remember, if I'm going too fast for you, just pause the video and rewind. Okay, here we have 7y equals 84. I'm going to put a box around the variable. What's attached to the variable? It's a 7. It's being multiplied because they're next door neighbors. So draw a division bar because we're going to do the opposite, the inverse operation. And we divide by the number that's attached to the variable, which is a 7. Okay, 7 divided by 7 is 1, so that cancels out. We bring down the y. 84 divided by 7, go ahead and put in your calculator. You should get 12. Y equals 12. But as always, we should check our answer. So 7 times 12 equals 84. 7 times 12 is 84. 84 equals 84. The answers check out. The solution does work. Okay, let's try a couple of these. We're going to go a little bit quicker. If you did not understand what we just did, rewind and start again because I'm going to go a little bit quicker with these. Okay, 20 equals 4x. Box the variable. The 4 is attached to it with multiplication, so we're going to divide. Whatever we do to one side of the equal sign, we do to the other. 4 divided by 4 is 1, which leaves us with x. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And we're going to go ahead and check our answer. Let me box it first. So it's 20 equals 4 times 5. 20 equals, and 4 times 5 is 20, so our solution checks out. Over here we have 8y equals 24. Put a box around the variable. 8 is attached to it and it's being multiplied, so we're going to divide by 8 because we always do the opposite. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so it cancels. Y equals 24 divided by 8 is 3. But as always, we're going to check our answer. So we have 8 times 3 equals 24. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 equals 24. Everything works out perfect. All right, over here we have 6a equals 36. Put a box around the variable. We see that the 6 is attached to it and it's being multiplied. So we're going to do the inverse, the opposite, which is division. So we're going to divide by 6 on both sides. 6 divided by 6 is 1, so it goes away. A equals 36 divided by 6 is 6. And as always, I'm going to check my answer. So I have 6 times 6 equals 36. 6 times 6 is 36. 36 equals 36. Checks out. Our solution works. Over here I have 30 equals 6x. I'm going to put a box around the variable. The 6 is attached to it, so I'm going to divide. And whatever I do to the one side of the equal sign, I do to the other. I'm going to divide by 6. And over here I'm going to divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, so they go away. X equals, and 30 divided by 6 is 5. So x equals 5. And I'm going to check my answer. So here I'm going to have 30 equals 6 times 5. 30 equals, and 6 times 5 is 30. Everything checks out perfect. All right, so over here I have some division problems. All right, so we're going to box the variable. What's attached to it? It's this divided by 7. So instead of division, we're going to multiply by 7. Whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I'm going to do to the other. So I'm going to multiply by 7 over there. Multiplication and division, they're going to cancel each other out. So you bring down the x equals 3 times 7 is 21. And then as always, I want you to check your answer. So 21 divided by 7 equals 3. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 3 equals 3. Everything checks out. All right, we're going to move over here. Put a box around your variable. What's attached to the y? It's an 8, and it's being divided. So what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. And I don't have a lot of room. Let's see if I can move this bar over a little bit. Yes, I can. Okay. So I'm going to multiply by 8 on both sides. Whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I do to the other. Now I have 8y over 8, and these 8's are going to cancel because 8 divided by 8 is 1. I'm left with y equals, and 9 times 8 is 72. So y equals 72. Now I always want to go back and check my answer. So I'm going to have 72 divided by 8 equals 9. What's 72 divided by 8? It's 9. 9 equals 9. Everything checks out perfect. All right, over here I'm going to box the variable. What's attached to it? It's this divided by 10. So what's the opposite of divided by 10? I'm going to multiply by 10. And over here I'm going to multiply by 10. So these are going to cancel out. And you're left with m equals, and 5 times 10 is 50. And as always, you want to go ahead and just check your answer. So 50 divided by 10 equals 5. 50 divided by 10, 5 equals 5. Everything checks out perfect. All right, over here you have r over 4 equals 6. So what I want you to do is box your variable. Okay, now what's attached to it? It's this divided by 4. And so what's the opposite of dividing by 4? Multiplying by 4. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So these 4's are going to cancel out. Bring down your r equals, and 6 times 4 is 24. So plug it back in. 24 divided by 4 equals 6. What's 24 divided by 4? 6. 6 equals 6. You're good to go. All right, you go ahead and try these out, and I will write down the answers as well. Make sure that you check your work. Alright, so check your answers. If you're not done though, pause the video. So for number 1, D equals 7. Number 2, N equals 28. Number 3, X equals 8. And number 4, W equals 24. Alright, that is the end of this lesson. If you have any questions, you can ask me in class. You can always rewind, fast forward, or pause the video.